When the challenge is getting presented, now I'm like, okay, bring it on. In the past, I would be like, why is this happening to me? No, it's fair because you want something. And for you to get there, this is the only way.
Shout out to our sponsor, Local Cold Brew Coffee. Welcome to Book BFFs, the show that celebrates wonderful people and the books they're inspired by. I'm your host, Jenny Valdez, and today we have a super cool guest who's a violinist, Kostia Lukyniuk.
Hey,
What's
you
up?
know who it is.
Let's go.
Good to see you.
I'm already ready to get the party started.
Of course, it's always a party when you have Kostia around. You know
Let's
that.
go.
You know that.
I know, now I know it. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Violinist.
Yes, so my name is Kostia. I was born and raised in Ukraine till I was about 18 years old. I came here when I was 18 years old with about like 300-400 in my pocket and with a dream with my violin. And I started studying in one of the biggest music schools in the country, Eastman School of Music in Rochester, New York. And an interesting story about me is after I finished my studies at Eastman and got my bachelor's degree, I had to, since I was on a visa, I had to go back home. And when I went back home, I came home to Ukraine about February 12th. And February 24th is when, they started bombing us. So literally I came in, I spent maybe like 10 days in Kyiv. I got a new apartment there. I was about to like start my new life there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of unfortunate, and then they started bombing us and I had to, stop everything I was doing because I was, preparing a lot of concerts. I was doing a lot of tours. I actually didn't even spend those 10 days in Kyiv because I was like going all over the country, trying to set up some performances. But then all of it, kind of went south and I had to go back to my hometown, Chernivtsi, which is like right in the right on the border with Romania, like really close there. So it was safe for me. But one of the things that was happening there is since it was a safe area, we had a flood of women and children who were escaping from the east. And so me and my brother, what we would do, we would throw these daily concerts for all of these people who are refugees, who are, they were just faced with this thing, they're just, seeing bombs and they're coming back to safety. So we were trying to, honestly, my mission was just to distract them a little bit, especially the children, because in my book, that was not
No
on
pun
purpose.
In your book.
Because in my book, children are not supposed to know what rocket or a bomb means, when they're 2-3 years old. So we were trying to distract them, with all of that. I was playing concerts here virtually in America, raising money, getting that money sent to me, buying bulletproof vests, sending them on front lines. Yeah, I literally had bulletproof vests, was carrying them on the street, giving it to the soldiers who were about to be shipped out. Because that was the beginning of the whole thing. It was very, very much uncertain for everybody. And, but honestly, thankfully, I was able to come back here, and it was all because of music. Because music is with me since I was a little kid, and it saved my life. It literally saved my life because I was already, they grabbed me from the street. They dragged me into the recruitment center. I was already about to be shipped out. And just because I had this letter of acceptance from Frost School of Music, I was able to get off. Yeah, I was telling them, you guys, I can't do it. I'm the only one from my city who got accepted to this prestigious university. I gotta be in Miami, I gotta be in US, and they let me go. If I didn't have that, I would be probably done by now. So thankfully, this is my story for everybody who doesn't know me. And music is in my life forever, and it has changed my life and saved my life. Yeah.
Wow, music has literally saved you.
Yep.
And what is your relationship with music?
Music has been in my life since I remember myself. I started playing a little before I was 5 years old. And, not to say that I was, like everybody says you were probably born with a violin, but that's not true. Actually, my first ever violin teacher, after a couple months, he told my mom that I will never be a violinist in my life. He was like, this boy, that's just not his. Just, go bring him to a dance studio or a gym or whatever, or a math class. He was like, this is not his. But fortunately, my mom decided not to give up. And so I started studying with another teacher. And then by the age of like 8, 9, I started, showing some real talent. And when I was 9, I played my first solo with an orchestra. And it just took off from there. And now I have a big mission to showcase violin as a sort of like a revolutionary instrument, because it's such a great instrument with such a bad reputation and stereotypes.
Why?
Because I know it because I always go and perform as a violinist at different events, and if you say, there's going to be a violinist there, they usually think of like an old bald guy who's going to be playing classical music and, sitting there. But that couldn't be further from my reality, because I co-perform at swim week parties, at yachts, I play with DJs, I play with rock bands, I play jazz, I play, house music, EDM music. I produce my own music with violin in there. Like I play rap, hip hop with hip hop artists. I play violin in there. So my mission is to show that this instrument, there's no fault in the instrument. There's fault in the culture behind the instrument and in the schooling system, because the school system for violinists shows you only one way of doing things. The only thing that you get out of it is you can be either a teacher or a orchestra player. That's the only way you can do it. But, for me, I think the instrument has nothing to do with it. It's just you need to learn how to express yourself and find your own voice and, play whatever you want to play, not something that somebody already wrote. Because I call people like that, that's my philosophy. I call people who, play music from sheet music, I call them reproducers, because they reproduce music. They're not musicians. They're not per se playing music, because they're just, reproducing whatever is there, They're just a record player. But, me and people who can improvise and other people like that who are, finding their own voice, unique voice. Because I can't say that, I'm the best or whatever. I can, but, I'm not going to. But I can say that I'm very unique and there's nobody like me. And that's truth, So I like and I appreciate and really respect people like that who have their own unique voice and they're able to express it.
So powerful.
Yeah.
And speaking of voices, what made you choose this book, How to Talk to Anyone?
Honestly, it just kind of happened because after, I've been in Miami for over a year now. And after spending about like half a year in here, I started getting invited to parties, not just as a performer, but as a guest. So I started getting invited to a lot of these very exclusive networking events that, you need to know somebody to get in, or you need to have the invitation. Some of them, they wouldn't even check you at the door. They wouldn't even check the list, because if you know about this event, you're supposed to be there, So things like that. And you can just imagine the types of people that are there and the types of connections that you could make that would further, me in my career, obviously, because my career is very driven on not just my skill, but also my skill in networking and my skill in like furthering these relationships, because one relationship could change my life and my career. So I started, being a participant in some of these events, and started trying to network and talk to different people. And I started being more and more interested in that, because I understood that it's not something that you can be born with. I mean, you might be born very extroverted or whatever, but still it's a skill. It's a big, big skill. And there's some do's and don'ts that you might want to know about. And then I found this book. I will say honestly, I did not have, this is the first time I'm seeing the hard copy because I'm listening to it. I'm an audiobook
Yeah.
person. But you know, it's still a way to consume information. And you know, honestly, when I was a kid, I would read a lot. I would read so much, but I would read a lot of fiction, mostly fiction. You know, because you know, I'm just trying to be, you know, experience dragons and be in a mystical, magical world of warriors and swords and stuff. But you know, when you grow up, you are, you know, kind of pushed into the real world, and you gotta, you know, deal with the real world things. So that's why I like things that can benefit me in my day-to-day life, and especially a book like this, which I really, really love. I haven't finished it yet completely because it you know, it gives you like it says, it gives you tips and tricks. It gives you like rules, do's and don'ts of social interactions. And so as far as that goes, sometimes, you know, I might listen to a couple tracks and it might take me a couple of weeks to implement them in my life. I would want to try it out. I would want to like give it, you know, maybe try to do it too much or try to do it a little bit, you know, find the right medium of it, you know, because some of the tracks might be a little bit uncommon for us, you know, or not, you're not used to things like that. So yeah, but I absolutely love the book. It has helped me a lot.
Yeah, and you're taking action, you're applying.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, you got to read books until books read you.
Yes.
You know, you're setting that example.
Love
for
that.
Sure. It's interesting because one of the things that happened like before we started, right? I was like slouching in my chair. I'm like, all right, let me sit up. I can't be all hood here.
Yes.
Like, what's up, right? Let me sit up. And you literally looked at me and were like, posture, the book.
It's in the book.
One of the biggest takeaways from this book has been body language.
Yes.
And
100%.
that non-verbal communication, which as a musician, I know that you understand.
Very
and me
big.
as a professional dancer, I understand that as well.
Awesome.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So at some point, maybe you play the violin, maybe I dance, maybe we have a little music session over
yeah,
here.
that's why you mentioned that. Actually, we should work together. Actually,
Yeah.
I do work with a lot of dancers.
Yeah,
so
we should.
that's
I
cool.
love creating art. And so
It's awesome.
art is a form of communication.
Of
It's a way
course.
for us to express ourselves. It can be a savior. It could be an escape for us.
Yep.
And in that non-verbal communication, posture, a smile, eye contact,
Yep.
all this that he talks about in the book, my favorite one is definitely eye contact.
Yep.
How important is eye contact for you?
Eye contact is very big because you know, it's really, they don't say it for no reason that eyes are a window to your soul.
Yeah.
And if you're shutting it, that means you're hiding something from your soul. That means there's something there that you don't want people to see. And people really take those cues. Like I could be telling you something with my words, one thing, but if my body language is not congruent, you definitely will feel that there's something wrong and something disconnects. And you will respond more to my nonverbal communication than my verbal communication. So it's really, really important. You know, here in the book, she talks about some of the things, you know, like sticky eyes.
Yes.
You know, like you stick your eyes to your conversation partner and you don't, or there's
you don't look away until that
Yes.
person finished talking, and if you do, you gently
Yes.
look away.
Yes. You don't want it.
Right,
you know?
right.
Or there's even an extreme example there. She gives epoxy eyes, where it's like even more like very overbearing. And sometimes it might be, as I said, you know, it might be uncomfortable at first, but it does give, you know, really great results because not many people let themselves do this. So when you do this, you stand out from the usual crowd, especially in those networking events where everybody is a social climber. Everybody is, especially in Miami, you know, a lot of people are kind of plasticky and fake, and they're trying to just come up. You know, I'm just gonna be real. You know, it is what it is.
We like to keep it real on the show.
I'm not gonna be one of those. You know, so like I do see that a lot. And you know, when you want to create that genuine connection, and when you really want to get to know a person, not just, oh, what do you do? How can I get some of your clout or some of your status? Then, you know, it forges those connections that are more stable over time, and that they actually yield results. Or, you know, you might even make a friend. You know, so yeah.
So let's say you're at a networking event right now. There's a lot of people there and you want to make a genuine connection with somebody. How do you start?
Some of the best things that you might want to do, and that's actually highlighted in the book, but you definitely need to know somebody who is either the organizer of the event or a friend of the organizer, or somebody who might have invited you there. And when you do go to a lot of these networking events, you will be able to bump into the same people who are there all the time. So if you have a friend like that, you might want to ask them to introduce you to somebody. So that's a very, very powerful thing because it gives you social proof. It gives you like, okay, that's my friend and he knows that friend. So through a friend, it's really, really easy to get connected to a person and get into the conversation. I mean, getting into the conversation is just the start. So then you really need to know how to talk to that person, what that person likes. Some of the other tips in the book is like, try to learn a little bit about, she calls it jobbligoo. It's like job language. It's like the specific work vocabulary that, you know, a video operator might use, or a sound engineer might use, or somebody who is a professional dancer. So you really want to know some of these things that, you know, those people that the real insider knowledge, you know, you really want to know something like that to keep up the conversation. So
Right.
So that's one of the good things. I really like one of the suggestions that she does in the book is a thing called she really, I really like the way she structures it because she has these little phrases that make you remember all of these rules. And one of them is like a what's that? What's that is, you know, if I was wearing a big hoop earring, what's that? Somebody would definitely come up to me and say, what's that?
Yeah.
Or a big nice hat, or I don't know, like a feather or something. So if you wear something, or if you have something like that that stands out, that's really unusual, you definitely will turn heads, and definitely somebody will come up to you. But also another coin of this is that you might want to look for that in another person. Like you might want to look, if you want to talk to some person, you might want to look for what's that they have. So if they have something like out of the ordinary, you just come up to them. Oh, I couldn't help but notice you have this, you know, where did you get it from? You know, and that's how you do it. Like you just need to get into that conversation. It might be scary at first, but when you're in, you're in. It doesn't really take that much time for people to either accept you or, you know, show you that they don't accept you. And usually they do, you know, if you're a welcoming and a nice presence, you know, then people will definitely accept you.
And that's one thing I want to talk about, like the overall presence of somebody. I mean, we're all energy, right? And so you can read somebody's energy without words.
100%.
And for me, one of my favorite things to do is what she talks about, smiling.
Yes.
Like as soft as a smile.
Yes.
You smiling at somebody's already shifting their energy. So that's, to me, one of the best ways to be able to be approachable or to approach. And then a handshake.
Yes, of course.
When you are meeting somebody, you literally have 5 to 10 seconds to sell yourself.
Yes.
And it could be sell yourself for business, sell yourself as a friend, sell yourself as a lover, whatever form you want to get to know this person as. And to me, a handshake, you're literally hands, your energy's exchanging.
Yeah.
And it's, what are you saying within that handshake without saying anything?
Yeah.
Right? So that's a huge form of communication that I have found to be very, very, very beneficial. So anybody listening in, perfect that handshake, get that smile on lock, get that posture ready, and present yourself in your natural, authentic essence.
Yes.
Because you radiate natural, genuine energy, right? Because your eyes don't lie.
Yeah.
And what you said, it's like, you're not hiding anything from me right now in this moment.
Definitely
I can feel that you're not. And your body language is communicating that with me not knowing your entire life story, right?
Yes.
So the beauty of being able to talk to anyone is being in that authentic essence of who you are. And I really feel like you being a musician helps you with that.
100%. I was just going to mention that because for me as a musician, my philosophy as a musician is actually a little bit different from a lot of people.
Tell us.
So this is going to be a secret that I do. You guys can steal it. I wish a lot of people steal it, actually, because for a lot of musicians, music is their end goal. So for them, playing music, creating sounds that sound harmonically right and everything, that's their end goal. That's what they strive for. For me, music is just an instrument. It's a conduit to get to my end goal, which is your emotions as my listener. So your emotions is my end goal. And you probably know it because you do that through dance. So the medium could be literally anything. The medium could be food. The medium could be art. The medium could be a joke. The medium could be literally anything. My medium is just music because that's what I've been blessed with. You know, that's my mission from above. But for a lot of people, as I said, you know, they play music and this is what it is. I call it the exhibitionist approach. You're like in an exhibition. You look at it, it is what it is. You look at it, you either admire it or not, and then you're gone. For me, that's not, because there's no connection going on right there. For me, only when there is a connection, only when there is the energy exchanged, established, because I give you energy, you're going to give me back. And there's going to be like this continuum, this vortex of energy. So only when that is established, then I feel like I have done my job as a musician. So I wish a lot of people, you know, take this philosophy and apply it in whatever they're doing, you know, whatever they're doing, because you know our energy is real. It's a real thing. Yes. Energy exchange is real. I could be playing with closed eyes, but if I know that another person is feeling what I'm feeling right now, I don't even need to look at her, but I know that she is feeling it, you know? So that's one thing. And another thing about authenticity is, if you're not authentic when you're doing this, there's no way you're going to connect with people. No way. So you have to just let go of everything and you have to be the most true to yourself. And then, you know, if somebody likes it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. But you try to be as true to yourself as possible and as, I would say, observant and reactive towards your listener. Because me, if you ever see, I know you will see one of my shows at some point, but you know, when I play for people are different. And the way I play for you is going to be so much different than the way I even play for your mom or Sean, you know? So it would be it would be the same song, but it would be a different way of communicating, because as I'm communicating with my words, I would also, you know, take a different approach. You know, I would tell him, bro, I wouldn't tell you, bro. Yeah. So like those things like that, they're very, very important, you know, a personable connection. So yeah, I did learn it through music, but also, you know, in communication, I had to work on it a lot, you know, because you are in close contact with people and you never know. Everybody has different things about them. Everybody has a different psychotype. Everybody has a different personality type. Everybody has a different day before you know, so you never know what's going to happen and how the interaction is going to go. But definitely, you know, there's a lot of advice that I found in this book that is very, very very practical that you can, you know, as you said, you know, first thing, look, whatever you say, we're visual people and we do judge a book by its cover. Hey. Another one.
You're full of them today. Let's go.
I swear I didn't prepare these, but
no pun intended.
And another thing about smiles, what I really liked about smiles in one of her chapters is that a smile that you do, you shouldn't give out your smile right away to everybody.
That I learned from the book,
right?
And I never had heard that perspective
Me
before.
Me too, because everybody says smile, smile, smile.
Like, I'm the ray of light in the room. Hi.
You know, but then when you do that, it's like you come off as, you know, you're trying too hard. You're doing, and you're giving yourself to the person right away. But you need to kind of, in a subconscious level, psychological level, you need to make them feel as if they earned that smile from you. So you come in, you know, a little reserved, and then as the conversation progresses, obviously you want to smile to a person and obviously you want to open up. But, you know, if you do that right away all the time, that's the type of person you're going to be, a non-serious, you know, clown type person that smiles to everybody. So then your smile has no value, you know. So So, there's a lot of different tricks like that you might not even think about, that she kind of, I don't know, like probably researched and thought about it. And I'm really glad that she did. I don't know the author. I've never read anything else by her, but this is, really transformative.
And it's cool because there's so many different tips and tricks that you can use, and maybe some resonate with you and maybe some don't, but you're gonna find ones that do, which was like all the nonverbal stuff is what really resonated with me, because I was
100%.
like, well, like if notice this is one of the things I talk about all the time, how we as humans mirror each other. So if you're some place with somebody and they're like sitting like this, like you're gonna naturally catch yourself like
Yes.
doing that mid conversation. If I'm talking to you and all of a sudden I cross my arms, that's my favorite. If I'm like this, you're gonna notice how you, by the end of it, will have your arms crossed just like me.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, you're not even doing it, but we're constantly mirroring each other.
Yes.
And I think that's why the smile aspect is such a beautiful component, because sometimes when you smile at somebody, they may smile back, and that might be their first smile of the day.
Yeah.
You
True.
know? So it's in those little forms of communication that you can literally shift perspective and shift energies and shift a room. Yep. We're talking about bring it full circle with the networking events, shift a room and really get people to see you without being like, hi, this is who I am. This is what I do. Do you like me?
Exactly. The other thing she actually mentions, that some of the worst things that come up in any networking event is that dreadful question, what do you do? Jinx. But yeah, what do you do? And everybody asks that. And what do you do? Like, nobody wants to answer that, because that's the thing. She mentions, like, say there's a stay-at-home mom, or something like that, which is an amazing job. Like, it, it's a calling, so, but if you want to say that, what do you do? That's what you say. And you might feel a little bit, shy about it or whatever. But she gives you an alternative to that, which is, what do you like doing in your free time?
How do you spend your free time?
How do you spend your free time? What do you like doing? How do you spend most of your time? What do you like doing most of your time? So it's like, then it's like, oh, for me, I love, doing concerts for people. I like sharing my music. I like creating music. Yes. So like for a stay-at-home mom is like, I like taking care of my kids, so it makes that, it turns it back to the person. It makes it very personable, So like things like that, there's other things that if you're prepared for it, it might change your conversation with anybody, because there's some things that are going to come up in every conversation. What do you do? Where are you from? Mm-hmm. Like all of those things. If you're just a little bit prepared for it, it will change it. So it's a really cool thing to even think about after, you might read it and then you're still thinking about it,
So when you're playing your violin, where do you go? Like internally, where do you go?
Where do I go? I go a lot into myself. That's one thing. I go deep, and I try to be, as we said, very authentic. Because I try to, one of my also philosophies, I like to play only things that I like. Yeah, and that might not be, that is very intuitive, but that is not the case especially because I come from the classical music background. And in the classical music, we might play things that you don't like, but you have to play. For me though, I only play music that I like, because if I genuinely like it, there's no need for me to convince you to like it, because I like it and you will like it with me, because yes. I'm genuinely enjoying it. I'm not lying to myself. And for anybody, like I might be playing the same thing, but for each audience member, it might be a different thing. For somebody, it might be a healing process, a spiritual process. For somebody, it might be just, like a rest from the day of work. Yeah. For somebody, it might be, they're into it, they're like vibing with me, they're hyping up, like, hey, let's go, So like for everybody, it takes a different, different coloring in their soul, but it has to come from me, and it has to be intentional. Yes. From my perspective, it has to always be intentional. I try not to ever play anything with no intention, because then you're just wasting your energy.
Of course,
and energy is important.
Of course, and you just want to make people feel.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, you're the vessel to help them feel through your
Exactly.
talents.
Exactly.
5 years ago, would you imagine you would be where you are today?
I probably did imagine, and I always dreamt about things like this. I probably never thought it would be quite to this extent. Definitely not. But I am, I have a vision for myself, and I do try to, do everything I can to make that vision into reality. So, yeah, I'm definitely really, really blessed. And everything that's happening in my life, it's just, taking me places. And I know that's why going have gone through a lot of these things. I understand that sometimes, and honestly all the time, when some sort of a challenge presents itself to you, it's always for the better. It's always for you to be able to reach that goal that you have in mind. And if that challenge never presented, you will never be able to reach that. So then when the challenge is getting presented itself to me, now I'm like, okay, bring it on. I'm ready. I want to get better through this. Where, maybe in the past I would be like, why is this happening to me? Like, this is so unfair or whatever. No, it's fair because you want something. And for you to get there, this is the only way for you to get there.
Right.
So.
Wow, that's
So
really beautiful.
yeah.
What would you say is the hardest thing you've had to overcome?
Hardest thing I had to overcome. Honestly, I mean, there have been a lot of challenges, but I would say, definitely one of the hardest things was coming here and surviving here just by myself, because came here with no family, and I had to, work to pay for my college, which I couldn't legally work as a student. IRS, don't watch this video. But yeah, I had to do all of that. I had to provide for myself, but it's not to. This is literally one of those things that I'm telling you about. This is like a blessing for me. It's not a challenge. It's not for anybody to feel like, oh, poor you or whatever. No, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have had that. I'm blessed to have gone through things like that, because it made me into who I am right now. So
I love your positivity, and now you're at and you're
Yes.
killing it, and you're changing the game for South Florida.
Go Canes! Yes.
Go Panthers! It's about the U and FIU, but go
Exactly.
Canes too. I love both. I love both. My dad went to I went to FIU.
I love.
We love Miami.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all Miami.
I don't see the beef. I don't even know what
No,
the
there's
beef
no
is.
beef.
There's no beef.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I just wanted to start something with
exactly.
you.
Yeah.
We've been so flowy. I'm like, maybe throw something different out there.
No, I have no. I just like the culture, honestly, because
Yeah.
at there was the first time that I felt this kind of culture where I was like proud to be a Cane or whatever, because I was before I was at Eastman, which is University of Rochester, and I was never, don't hate me for this, but I was never a yellow jacket. I was never like go Yellow Jackets. I was never like that. It was never like a part of my culture. But here it's definitely there. I love the school. I love our school, Frost School of Music, which is amazing. It's a very unique music school. It gives you a lot of insight into the business, into the marketing. It's like the insight that you need as a musician, because a lot of music schools, most of the music schools, they teach you the skill of being a musician.
Yeah.
But that skill is just to get you through the door. How are you going to sell that? How are you going to market that? Like, what are you going to do with this? So nobody really teaches you that, but our school does. So I love it. I totally love it.
Before we go, is there any favorite takeaway you have from this book?
I would say just in general, the takeaway is that it's never too late to work on yourself, and if there's something, because I know that some people might be like, okay, I'm just not a social person. In my opinion, that's not true.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm just an introvert and I was born like this, and there's nothing to do. No, it's a skill. Everything is a skill. And if you haven't done this 1,000 times, or even if you haven't tried it once, you're not going to be able to succeed. And every single first try for everybody always fails. anything you start, it's all gonna fail.
Yeah.
I don't know, you probably have started many podcasts before this one, before making it, so I've tried to play violin. As I said, my first teacher literally told me I'll never be a violinist. So it's like, and now look at me, like I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So like everything you start is gonna fail from the beginning, but you're never gonna reach that goal if you don't make that first step. Okay. So and this is also a skill, working on yourself, working on your social skills, working on your networking skills, which is networking is so important for any type of job. Literally in anything that you are, is the people that that counts almost the most.
Yeah.
So obviously you need to have the skill. The skill is
So
just
beautiful.
to get you into the door, but then the people that the personality that you radiate, how pleasant of a person you are, because at the end of the day they're looking for an employee or a coworker, and they want that to be a good person and not an asshole. So
for sure.
And it's a skill.
I love it.
You got to work on it.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into a nice little game that's a tradition here on Book BFFs. Yes.
I didn't know about it.
I know you didn't, huh?
Okay.
The woman of many tricks.
Okay. Love it.
All right, so we're gonna play a word association game.
Okay.
I'm gonna say words from the book and words not from the book, and you're just gonna say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Okay?
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
Let's go.
Woo! All right. So these are words from the book.
Okay.
Okay? Communication.
Skill.
Empathy.
Everybody.
Etiquette.
Need to know.
Charm.
Important.
Confidence.
Within yourself.
Influence.
Power.
Assertiveness.
Dominance.
Charisma.
Charisma. That's what people tell me about me.
You?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah,
Charisma.
But it's important. It's important in everything, in communication. It's important. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, important.
Listening.
To each other.
Network.
Net worth.
Ooh, but
yes.
I love this. All right, now words not from the book.
Okay.
Okay, words not from the book.
Hit me.
Doodle.
Doodle, Yankee Doodle. I wasn't ready for this. We're rolling with it.
Yes, that's gotta stay on your toes.
Sure.
Pizza.
Joe's Pizza.
Ooh.
Not promotional, but I love it.
Jam.
Jam session.
Jam session. Cool. Submarine.
Yellow submarine.
X-ray.
TSA.
Spin.
The bottle.
Giggle.
You.
Yacht.
Yacht. Party.
Rage. You like to rage. Paint.
Paint. Artist.
Explosion.
Home. Sorry.
Wow, that got from funny to
deep. Yeah.
real quick.
Sorry. Yeah.
Wow. Well, we here at Book BFF send so much love and light to your home, and just all the positive vibes that way to your family and everybody over there.
Thank you.
And just anything we can do to help, we're here.
Yeah, and that's what I've been telling everybody since I came here. I really, really appreciate the support from Americans, not the government. Government is they're gonna do their thing. I'm not gonna get into it because that's a different podcast. Yeah. But the people, the real people who are like never been there, never even been to Europe probably, but they're like, we identify with you and we're gonna support you because you're going through some shit. Yeah. I appreciate those people, so thank you so much.
We're here for you. Whatever you need, any way we can support.
Thank you.
We're here for you. So I've had such a great time here.
Likewise.
And I would really love to hear you play. Is that possible? Is there a violin hanging around here that we could just pick up and maybe you casually play and hey!
Oh, there she comes. There she comes.
Look who arrived.
My baby. My baby's always with me.
Wow.
My one and only. I mean, I have many, but God.
Yo, ahora nosotros, we know what you be doing at these UN parties. We know what you be doing.
Violin polygamy. This one is just a sugar baby.
Wow.
This is a jam, just for book BFFs.
Let's go.
Miami. That's how we do it.
We have been blessed here at Book BFFs.
That was just for you guys, for everybody.
Wow, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
I feel like we hit 5 different emotions in that
I know.
one session.
I was trying to, put it, squeeze it all in, my whole show into this 30 minutes.
I felt that. I was like, yes, we're up here. Okay, now we're rock here. Okay, now we're
Yes.
down here. Now we're in our emotions. Now we're happy. Whoa, I felt that with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So thank you for being here. Where can people find you?
You guys can find me anywhere, following me at Kostia Violin, Kostia Violin, anywhere in the world. You can just Google that. You can find me on Spotify and find my new music. New music coming soon, new original music coming soon. You can find me on Instagram. Instagram is my biggest thing. Just follow me, Kostia, Kostia Violin. Just find me there and send me a message if you want to collab, if you want me to be at your event, if you want me to teach you violin or teach you about the music business. Let me know.
Yes. So there you have it, live with Kostia and this beautiful, beautiful performance talking about an amazing book. If you enjoyed this conversation, let us know in the comments. And if you want to check out the book, How to Talk to Anyone, 92 Little Tricks for Big Success in Relationships by Leil, Lowndes, make sure to click the link in the description below. As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let us know how you enjoyed this performance and this beautiful, beautiful conversation in the comments below. We love you, and turn the page. We'll see you on the next one.
Ha! That's how we do it.